Welcome back to Motors in Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the facts that are necessary to understand when it comes to living a long, healthy life with a very healthy body. And I'm going to be revealing basically 4 steps that need to be taken to achieve this. So it's no secret that a lot of people will tell you, professionals, health professionals, dietitians, trainers, that you need to focus on diet and exercise and all of these different things, right? Well, I've been in medicine now for 20 years, and I've treated patients with a host of medical conditions, young, old, everything in between. And what I've learned after practicing medicine for 20 years now is that there are basically 4 components to living a healthy life and having a healthy body. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is hydration. Now, what is hydration? Well, it's real simple. It's drinking water, period. Too many people are content with hydrating their bodies with Gatorade, Powerade, energy drinks, juice, soda, beer, wine, other hard liquors. It doesn't matter. None of those liquids will hydrate your body better than water. Our bodies are designed and are made of 70% water. We need to be hydrating. And the typical American is lacking in hydration or drinking water by at least 50%. So in other words, half the time we're all walking around dehydrated. We're just not drinking enough water. Now, that is something that is difficult to achieve because of our daily schedules, because of, limitations during the day, not having enough time. The easiest way around that is just to have some type of water source or a water bottle at your disposal all day long, if possible. Sipping water throughout the day is the best way to keep your hydration levels where they should be, because every organ in your body, every cellular function requires a good balance of water. And whenever that gets out of balance and you start to get dehydrated, a lot of different things will suffer, from your mood to your metabolism, your energy levels. It'll affect things like fatigue. You won't sleep very well. So there's just a number of things that will be affected if you're not well hydrated. So number 1, hydration. Moving on to number 2. This pertains more to the exercise realm. And instead of saying exercise, because exercise is very vague. What does that mean, exercise? I mean, is walking okay? Is running? Do I have to do whatever? Well, when it comes to exercise, I really just want to emphasize on movement. Movement, believe it or not, is the most important thing that we need to be doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be running or biking or hiking. It doesn't matter what it is. We just have to choose an activity where we are moving. Movement is key for a number of reasons. Movement for even just 15 minutes a day, just generalized movement, has tremendous benefits on your health, from reduced joint aches to reduced blood pressure to improved glycemic control, energy levels, better sleep, better mood. So, and that's just 15 minutes a day. Most people are going to be doing, hopefully averaging more than that. But the reality is that, again, due to our busy schedules and lives, it's hard to get out there and do things. So when I say exercise, I'm really saying just get out and move. Whether that's taking a walk after you eat a meal or just taking a walk during the day, anything that's above and beyond your normal daily routine. Now, some people will say, well, my job entails me to be walking and moving all day long. That's great. But those people tend to be offenders when it comes to good balance of hydration and good balance of what they're consuming for food and energy. They tend to eat more junk food because they're depleting themselves during the day when they're constantly moving. So it becomes a balancing act. When I say movement for at least 15 minutes, I mean on top of what you're already doing. Add 15 minutes of a walk or a hike or a bike or whatever it is you want to do. Doesn't matter. 15 minutes of movement a day will make a tremendous difference and have a huge impact on your overall health. Moving down the list. Now, number 3. And again, none of these are in any particular order. Number 3 is moderation. Now, what do I mean by moderation? Moderation can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, but in this case, moderation pertains to anything that you're doing to your body, whether it be consumption of alcohol, consumption of anything recreational, your diet, what you're eating, when you're eating it, how often you're eating it, what you're doing as far as exercise or movement, right? People think more is better. Well, that can also be detrimental. If you move too much, if you're overdoing it, if you're overexerting yourself, all you're going to do is cause more physical problems. So moderation has to be kept as part of the equation when it comes to having a healthy body and a healthy life. And moderation in everything, from how much time you spend in a sedentary position versus how much time you spend out and about doing some type of really extreme exercise. So, for example, it's not good for the body to run, say, a marathon every single day, right? There's a lot of people that are hyper runners and can run 30, 40 miles a week. Okay, that's fine. But they break that up into certain segments of time and distance. But if you're obsessed and you're running 30 miles every day, your body is going to have some problems. You're going to break down tissues faster than you can repair them, and you're going to end up with overuse syndromes. Anything that ends in an itis, an example would be tendonitis, right? So you're going to get tendonitis in your feet, ankles, and your knees, all along the kinetic chain. So moderation has to be applied to not only exercise, but of course, to what you're consuming in your body, whether that be a liquid or a food. If you consume too much alcohol of any kind, you're obviously going to be consuming a form of an empty calorie that just isn't going to give you a health benefit, and it's just going to give you needless calories that you then have to burn off. So you have to be moderate with anything that you drink beyond the normal amount of water that you should be drinking. Moderation also pertains to water itself. If you drink too much water, you might actually dehydrate yourself. And that's kind of counterintuitive, but the reality is that there has to be a fine balance of water and salts, I should say, in your body. And if you overdo it on the water, then you're going to deplete yourself of salts, which is going to take water with it, and that's going to lead to dehydration. Staying hydrated is important. You have to drink a certain amount of water, and everybody's different. There is no standard. Everybody says, or a lot of professionals will say, oh, you need to drink a gallon a day or 2 gallons or so many liters. Really, as long as you're just sipping water throughout the day, like if you're sipping water throughout the day, every hour, depending on how much you consume, you're going to be getting that hydration level that you need to be at. You'll know, because if you start to notice that your skin starts to have either a lot of dryness or an abnormal turgor, what that means is if you take your skin and you pinch it, it should retreat very quickly back to its normal position. If you take your skin and pinch it and it stays, like it stays pinched or it stays wrinkled, it's a perfect way to tell that you are dehydrated. So that's just one trick, You just need to keep yourself as hydrated as you can, but not overdo it. So there's a fine balance there. And the final piece to this puzzle, which is the most underrated and underappreciated, is, of course, sleep, rest. Your body is not designed to be going 24/7. It's not designed to be sedentary, and it is not designed to be being broken down to an excessive point where your body cannot recuperate. If you are, say, a person that is super active, that's great. But again, just like I mentioned in the moderation phase, you need to have a certain level of rest and recuperation for your body to be able to function as well as it did this day, the next days ahead of it. And so sleep is the only way you're going to achieve a recuperation where your body is going to enter a phase where you're no longer breaking down tissues, and now you're allowing your tissues to be rebuilt, and you're replenishing your cells. Kind of everything, when you sleep, everything is kind of just put back in order. Just like when you, say, work at a grocery store or a clothing store, at the end of the day, there's just things that are strewn about, clothes that are wrinkled and unfolded. In a clothing store, in a grocery store, things are just mismatched and just thrown everywhere. At night, people go in and they straighten everything out so that in the morning, everything looks perfect. Your body has to do the same thing. It's got to straighten itself out. It's got to recuperate. It's got to heal from damage sustained during the day. And that way, the next day, you'll have that body that you're wanting and expecting, and it'll perform the way you want it to and expect. Of course, age plays a major role in how often you sleep and how long you sleep. But at the end of the day, it really just has to be a focus on making sure that you're getting enough sleep. Now, how much is enough sleep? Well, some people it's 4 hours. Some people it's 10 hours. Everybody's different. You will know. Your body will tell you if you've had enough sleep, because your cognitive abilities will be affected when your sleep is not where it should be, and you will not have a good focus during the day. So at the end of the day, it just becomes a balancing act again. And if you can figure out how to balance these four topics, these four tenets, if you will, of health, not only will you have a long, healthy life, but you'll have a very healthy body. And there is no perfection in any of those, but there's just an attempt to do the best that you can at all four. So remember, it's hydration, moderation, movement, and sleep. Those are the big four. You do those four, you will stay healthy for a longer period of time. You'll have much longer, healthier life, and your daily activities are going to be sustained, and you won't have that fatigue that you hit in the afternoon, for example. So hopefully this information was beneficial to you. Hopefully it was of some value, and you can take some of this information with you and try to apply it to your life and your daily living. So until next time, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. I appreciate all of your support, all of your comments, and I try to answer comments whenever I can. But until next time, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Have a great day.